Good morning, everybody. My name is Miriam Divine, and welcome to another one of my readings. You see, I'm sorry I put my arm there, but I'm just lighting up my candles. I'm sure that's going to cause a bunch of you to run away, but I'm not really concerned about it. I am doing the third cycle new moon or moon reading with the waxing, the waning, the news, the fulls reading for us. Now, we already kind of saw the new moon reading come up, right, just recently. It was a couple days ago. This is what I call pneumonia, I think is how you pronounce it. It's a Greek resetting of your month. And so that's what we're going to do. So we're going to reset this lunar cycle and see what it has to hold with us. This is sage. I got to make sure it's not right under my camera. Sage and rose petals straight from my garden. I mean, not recently because it's like 0 degrees outside. Actually, I think it's today actually warmed up. I think it's minus, like for the next few days, it's minus, I don't know, like 6, 7 degrees Celsius, that kind of stuff. Oh, there's some sage. I can smell it. Okay, space, cleanse us for this reading. Cleanse me for this reading. Okay. And this is just a couple days in, right after the new moon. Actually, the new moon's over. The moon, I just saw her last night. She just crested. She's pretty beautiful. So these are the decks we're going to use. I might move these around a little bit just to give us a space when we need it. But I kind of have them out here so we can see what we're going to work with this month. This is the ancestor deck that my great-grandmother gave me. It's a double-sided deck. And so I only use it for ancestral work usually, so we'll see. That's interesting. That one came up. This is I think it's a witching hour. It's mostly lunar cycles in here. This is a really witchy kind of month because this is a witchy tarot. In fact, this is the only tarot. Well, we got this tarot too, but this tarot's out. And I'm sure we see some guest appearances. I hear the three sisters want to come out this month. It's a very kind of a witchy feel for a month. We're not quite in the fire horse. This is the end of the snake year. If you pay attention to the Chinese New Year, we haven't quite gotten out of. I know a lot of people are saying that we're out of the snake. We still got a little bit of lingering snake energy. This is another oracle deck, lunar or witching oracle. I think the witching hour. This is a Hecatean oracle deck, which is interesting. I don't think I've ever had this one up on my run. Of course, this is our Witch's Tarot, and this is, what was this one? Hold on. This was, the Wild Child Oracle. It's this little baby round one, which is kind of interesting. This one's an interesting one to run with. So let's start going through this. I guess we'll do a little bit more on the new moon. In fact, now we won't do it by time frame and stuff. We're gonna do it by what pops up in our lunar oracle and see where the month goes from there. So I'm just going to set this up here so you can see my board. I'm going to have to replace my board. I'm right in the process of moving, so I'll probably replace my board with a different setup here. This is getting pretty grimy. I spilled wax here a few months back, and this is some more wax from a few days ago. So this is nice, beautiful mulberry silk, which is sweet and nice to have, but it is what it is, right? I shouldn't do fabric. I should do something else. Okay. So let's just go ahead and see which section of this lunar cycle we're on, or what the moon has to tell us. This feels like a very moon kind of month. In fact, my new house looks almost like a giant moon. It's kind of like a giant golf ball, but we'll see. It's not quite ready yet. It's going to be a bed and breakfast eventually. Anyway, okay, what does collective have coming up? Give us a time frame, give us some period or whatever for. Boy, it's a yes, no, maybe. So this one's kind of interesting. This kind of keeps it wanted to come out, and it kind of didn't. So the first quarter. So I guess it did. I guess it did want to come out because we're in the first half, the very first quarter of the month. So this was actually, I guess, the moon wanted to say this is the first quarter, but it talks about commitment, and yes, I've seen this from other readers. It's time to lay in all of your 2026 plans, this quarter's plans, any plans you have, and that's exactly what we do. And the Monia is lay up our plans of what we're going to do for the month. So, however, this necessarily is not the most important piece. So because it was a kind of a quandary whether it came out, but let's get a little bit more information what we need to do for this quarter. And I'm seeing one of these and then a Hecatean card. So this reading is definitely going to be more than 3 minutes, by the way, if you haven't figured that one out yet. Usually I do shorts, but this one, it's both of these. And next time when I get a weird card like I did my last reading with this deck, I'll have to look it up. But so reverie, right? Something in this quarter is going to cause this like celebration, feeling like you're jumping over or jumping up in the sky with the moon. That's probably why this month is a really weird, lunar, witchy kind of feel for a month, very magical month. I'm not sure if the other readers and stuff out there. Look, here's another one with opportunity. See how it's both these little animals? You got the goat here, or antelope. I think he's an antelope. He might be a mountain goat. But see how he's jumping over, taking a leap over the precipice? See how this reverie is jumping through the sky under the full moon, or under this actually, this is the first quarter moon here. So this beginning is time to prepare for the rest of it. So if you journal or something, or you like to write down your goals and your plans, go ahead and write them down. You know, it is that time for you to start planning. And it's not just for now. If you haven't already started working on your 2026, start laying in the goals, because after this beginning initial, 11/11 just happened, now we're in 22, right after this initial push, well, this is what we're laying up for the rest of the year. So even this whole cycle, but this quarter especially, is the setup for the rest of this fire horse for the rest of the year coming up. Even 2026, that's what this is for. So do we need anything else here for this? Okay, I heard a Hecate card. Okay, she says she wants one. Whether it goes with the first quarter, she says it doesn't go with the first quarter, but she says go ahead and draw it anyway. It's that one right there. I saw it. It's this one right here. It's these two apparently, right here. She says flip one and leave one. Flip the bottom one and leave the top one. So, intentions. I'm not surprised, that Mother gave us, oh no, I'm sorry, it says initiation, the mysteries, walking through the doorway. It's still, this is about intentions. This is about stepping through. So this is kind of like, this is separate from this, but I don't know if you felt this, doorway. There's been a doorway coming up for a while now. You could almost feel it palpable all through the end of 25, through the end of the snake. This doorway is coming, and there's this beautiful, beautiful light on the other side. And we're going to actually keep this card more, actually we're going to make some space here. Ooh, I'm knocking my glass right. See, I got my glass of water here when I get thirsty. We're going to start moving some cards off here so we get some more space, And I just threw one on the floor. That one's also important. And cycles, right? This fell off on the floor from my arm. I brushed it and went right off on the floor. Where are we going to put these? Not much space here. Ow, I don't think I can put them up there. I'll burn my arm. We can make some space here around my camera arm. I have this big swing arm right here, which is kind of in the way. Okay, so now we have a little bit more space here. Here, let's move this over. Skip just a little bit more. So you can skip just a little bit more out of it. Okay. So this is our first cycle. We've got this initiation, or going through the doorway with a secret coming in through it. Also, we have cycles, right? The cycles, and this is the Hecatean, Strophalos, or wheel. Could be the wheel of the year. Her snakes, if you look at it, they kind of depict it here, but these are the three snakes: the red, the black, and the white snake. And they circle around, and this is us in the center with our 6-pointed star. All surrounded by Hecate's protection in the real world, and then you got this weird liminal space outside. And that's kind of the brief of the Hecatean wheel. Maybe I should do a real video on that, about this wheel. You know, it's more of a modern invention, but it's yet still claimed within the Hecatean group. And it talks about cycles. And so we're in this cycle of the third cycle. I start my cycles on the first cycle in November is when I start my witch's year cycles. So I'm kind of in a weird set, and they follow the lunar, so there's 13 of them cycles. But follow these cycles, your cycles. If you pay attention to your body, and for our, you know, born females that have that type of cycling in your body, you can feel these cycles probably a little bit easier than our born males. Males feel them more in a daily basis, but there's still this lunar cycle. And Hecate says has more to do with the lunar cycle, though you can be connected, your cycles can be connected with that. And she says just put this up here in the corner, because that's kind of what we're working on with cycles. So this is our first quarter. And there's this doorway that you're probably going through either right now or going to happen this cycle. Okay, so let's get another part. Give us another part, collective. What is the next piece of the moon, or we need to know about from the moon? It's this one right here, came right off the top. And okay, series. Love and mother yourself. So this has also been a feel of mine, that there's, and this kind of cycles through all of our cycles, through the first and the full and the end when it comes out. It's take care of your inner child. Your life is a reflection of your internal self. And this is all about taking care of your inner child, because this month, especially this cycle, has a lot with our inner children, with that coming more out, that popping out. And that was weird that my lighter just decided to roll slightly across the desk with me not touching it, me not doing anything to it. That was a little weird. Maybe a sign from the spirits saying, yes, go ahead, this is important. Maybe with your inner child, you need to use a lighter. You need to, you know, you need to have a flame, to have this inner flame, this doorway, this inner child. Where does this go? It goes up here. And so this is a really good thing about working with your inner child. If you have never done inner child work, do a lot of that. Try to recall back to the days when you were having a good time as an inner child and go through there. Do we need any more of that? I hear no. Okay, so we need another piece for this lunar cycle. What else is surrounding us? What else is in us? Where are we at with inside this lunar? I hear it's this one right here, kind of hiding in here. So I heard the ancestors want a piece of this one. Okay. So this is right at the end. If we look at this balsamic moon, things that come and go surrender to the universe. So this is a very end of the month type of cycle here. This is right before the new moon, if you look at the card. And as we can see, luckily these cards don't show anything other than just silhouettes, you know, but right at the end, we're going to have this surrendering to the universe. And I do, oh, ancestors. Yes, the ancestors want to give. Now this deck is a little different because we're going to have to not just shuffle it this way, but we have to take and flip it, because it's a, so we know that this deck is completely, you know, shuffled in. I hear spin it once. So because the way this deck just falls out. Okay, so I heard draw one this way and one the other way for what the ancestors have to say about this surrendering. And it's, these go with it. And ancestors got a lot to say. Our ancestors are very vocal. If you haven't noticed, especially in these spiritual weird, because we're right in the dead of winter, that, actually, what's that one? Ancestors got a lot to say. Okay, boy, the Ancestors got a lot to say. Okay, so now this is the back side of the cards. We're going to flip them all. So this is interesting. We get to like almost get a story here, but where the real story is going to come right here. So we have Aries, right? And I know there is an Aries moon. I got instant. This has something to do with lovers, with friendship, with something in that field, a masculine friendship. I know it says lucky number 8, so if these numbers come up, we get enough of these. Maybe there are all of our lottery numbers. I don't know. You can play them on Keno or something. But I also get Aries. And this is something with male friendship, male whatever, male energy. Doesn't necessarily have to be a guy, but it's somebody in a male concept. And this is coming in towards our end of the month, right? We're going to get this feel for that. And we have the Ten of Cups in reverse, which is also this like something stepping out of the way. Friendship, family, quarrels. This stuff's kind of, there's some issues here, but they're kind of stepping out of the way for this. So it's kind of like a trade-off, that there's something coming in here. And let's see, we also got the moon. Okay, and this is another, really talks about, more of this here, kind of something within your relationship, within somebody dear to you. There's some kind of pain here. And I know this is the moon card too, which is a mystery. So you may not see this coming. You may not feel it coming. Here you kind of know it's here, but this is something else, right? And this is kind of in this mirror over here. And maybe even this right here is going to be a little bit wonky, a little bit mysterious, right? It's going to feel like it's coming and going in and out of your field. I kind of see that almost like a light pulsing. And we have another one, another something in Pluto. Says lucky number 4, but with this other thing here in Pluto, this is more some kind of misunderstandings happening towards the end of this cycle. And I kind of print out myself a cheat sheet so I can know what the end of the cycle is. The end of this cycle, by the way, this new moon is going to come in somewhere around the 16th. The energy is going to be most potent. Maybe you might feel it on the 15th or a little bit before, but it's going to run the 16th through the 18th is when this portion is really coming in. And like I said, see how the moon's saying just surrender to this? This is not something to fight. Whatever this is, that might even be that, no, this is something coming. This is something in this like pulsing of a come and go. So let's see. We have another lucky number 4 in Sagittarius. So Sagittarius, Aries, these signs, fire sign, air signs, something here. We got a lot of lucky numbers here. It's quite interesting. 8, 4, and 4, which is 8. I'm not sure if that means anything, but 44 also means there's something watching over you, right? There is this 4 energy of protection, of balance, looking out for you. So they're saying just surrender. Just let whatever this is, it's going to happen. You don't ignore it. Don't try to bury it. Just let it come. And then you're going to probably just let it go. Interesting. Mercury, lucky number 4. So this is possibly the coming out of this, because we get this favorable Mercury card with 444, which is definitely a sign that we're being watched out for, right? And this Mercury is this very quick, fluid movement, sometimes a very mental movement, where Sagittarius is more of a fire. This kind of more feels almost like a watery feel if you ever can know Mercury. And the last one is the reverse Emperor, which is, once again, surrender, right? This talks about beware of, I love these ancestors, right? Beware of intrigues and difficulties and stuff. But it's more of a, you don't need to be in charge. You don't have to be on top of the world. Whatever this is, coming up at the end of the month for all of us, from collective, it's kind of a collective feel. We're definitely got protection here with 444 and the number 8. But we also have this darker relationship thing going on, whether it be a friendship, be a lover, be a family member, be something happening here. And just surrender into it. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to have rampant thoughts once in a while. It's okay to be angry and fiery once in a while. It's okay to have this ice cold exterior from Pluto and stuff once in a while, or change once in a while. This happens. And there's going to be something with Aries here. There's something more to this inside of this favorable. I don't know what it's going to be. I think that's for our next cycle. So we're going to go ahead and stack the ancestors up here in a pile. We're going to put them down here with this surrender, because that's the most important part of this. Whatever this is, we're going to surrender into it, or that's what we need to do, is surrender into it, and we'll have the most flow if we do. By the way, you don't have to follow any of this advice. You know, whatever vibes with you, vibes with you. You can surrender into it. You can give in and let it flow through you. You can fight it and deny it and not let it happen. You don't have to go through this doorway if you don't want to. You don't have to work on your inner child. You know, you don't have to work on your 2026, but you can flow with it and it will give you bonuses. You don't have to flow with it at all, and you can go against it. You don't have to, it may not even vibe with you at all. Maybe say, well, I don't understand this Hecatean wheel. It still makes no sense. Cycles, whatever. They just are what they are. And I know I'm talking fast and blah. I'm so used to doing these 3-minute. Oh yeah, I needed that. I'm so used to doing these 3-minute, shorts, that these longer videos, I really should start slowing down. Oh boy. Okay. Yeah, I'm actually talking so fast and so much, I'm getting lightheaded. So, okay. I hear one of these, and then one of the oracles from over there. It's that one right there wanting to come out. No, don't go back inside the deck. It's this one with this one. And I hear we're going to look at this one first for some reason. Okay, show us what we need to know for this bit from collective. No, I heard a no for that. I hear a yes for this one. Interesting. I just kind of hear this little voice inside. Right now it sounds so crazy. I hear this little voice inside my head that says yes, no, sometimes, or do this or do that. And no, it's not like it's when I'm drawing cards. It's not when I'm just walking around like, oh, go do that. No, it gets a little, yeah. Okay. Oh, so I'm sorry. We're supposed to look at this one first. Crossing the veil. Now, this is, it could. I saw a kind of connection with this doorway, but this is also about spirits, about your ancestors, about things on the other side, looking into a scrying mirror and see how she's like doing her makeup. If you really look at this card, it's kind of interesting. And honestly, look at that. That is the real world. See, in the real world, she's doing her makeup. She's got vanity. And then she's looking out into you. She's looking out into me. She's looking out into collective. And that's these are the spirits living in this magical universe around her. And this is kind of what I'm getting, this crossing the veil and looking into, and it's kind of a little bit of a sad feel. See how she's not like smiling? See how it says mourning at the bottom? Maybe, there's, I don't know if it's connected in with this or not. But let's see what we got with it. The dark moon, it's definitely connected with this. Because this is right before the dark moon. This is the dark moon. So this is ancestrals, right? I don't know if you do ancestry work or not. But the ancestors really came through strong here. This is working with your ancestors during the dark moon. And it's going to be, for whatever reason, they're going to come out. And I know this talks about pause and reset, which is the typical what you do on your dark moon. You just kind of relax, you do your offerings, you do your dinners, whatever you're going to do. But this dark moon, you need to, or we need to, or however, the ancestors are very prevalent. Spirits on the other side, and because we got a lot of ancestors here, but it's more than just them, right? There are ancestors, but there are also other spirits. And I almost get like muted angel feel here on the other side. Like, they're your angel guides. They're around you. They're all over. Right? That 444 came up because the angels are all over everyone who's watching this. Right? They've got us, like, got our back. And they're talking about just surrendering to the universe. But they're also talking that, hey, we're here. And you can talk to us. You can communicate or whatever with us during this dark moon. Which is honestly slightly after this. This is like just before. This is right after the and this card will come up here. I'm gonna actually switch the side so I'm not covering it up too much, trying not to get wax on everything. But this ancestral feel, this spirit feel is coming up at the end or the beginning. I look at it as the beginning of the next cycle, right? So what else do we need? I hear another one. You know, I think I'm going to have to fill up the whole thing. And the moon says, yeah. Start laughing at me. Right? Yes, we're going to fill the whole thing. And that's a lot. Just the top two. Okay. We'll get some more with this clarity. But we have spells and rituals. You know, more self-care, this is self-care magic. And we have reclaim your power. So somewhere in here, for this whole month, this is definitely about inner child work. But during this month, and I feel like this is a full moon feel. But it also kind of splatters out. It's kind of a weird feel. If you know the full moon right in the middle, imagine that you have the lunar cycle laid out in like a puddle in front of you, and the very center is the full moon. And that's like dropping into the water, and you get all these little ripples coming out. That's like these ripples. This is the front ripple, the one that's out here. So it's a little bit out here. These are out here. This is like, I feel like the ripples coming through this inner child work. There's also part of the ripples, but there's more self-care here. And reclaiming your power is gonna be through self-care this whole cycle, right? Lilith, if you work with Lilith, that's wonderful. If you don't, the vibe of Lilith, of reclaiming your power through self-care, baths, showers, you know, Epsom salts, oil yourself. I thought this, you know, take a bunch of oil, scented oils, and rub them all over your body. I know that's a little bit risque, but self-care, take care of yourself. You know, for half of the world, we're up here in bitter cold, superstorm coming up. Take care during that storm. Take care for what you have to do for yourself. And this taking care of yourself will help that inner mirror of you and help you reclaim your power, as well as this spiritual veil being pulled through here. Lilith, whether you work with her or not, she will flow with you this month. She will cloak you. See how she's kind of holding on? She's surrounding like a bird, hugging you. Right? Like that's your cloak. Lilith will come in and flow with you to reclaim your power, but you need to take care of your body. I heard your mind, your soul. Mostly a lot of self-care body rituals this month, but as well as doing inner child work. But Lilith will really come in and take care of you. That's actually very beautiful. I can't wait for that, by the way. I need that. By the way, this month, for me, this cycle is really kind of going to be weird. So, hold on. I hear or feel, actually this was kind of this one, I kind of felt this. I didn't hear it, but I felt it. I hear her spin it. You know, this is one of my harder shuffling decks. Here's that weird, quick, things are moving fast card that I couldn't figure out for the life of me what it meant. You know, at a different reading. This happened a few days ago. We also have this explosion of light. But let's, you know, it's kind of very interesting because I got that light card, which is kind of behind the scenes. It's kind of under the deck this month. Because this is more of a darker feel for the whole, because it's the moon. The moon wants us in her bosom this this month. And I here draw a couple of these to go with this. So it's that one. If I can get it. It's this one. And we need one more for collective. Please clarify whatever that card is. Okay. This looks like a positive card. I can tell you these I think are all up and upright. Because these are not, you know, you can tell. Air. Breathing. Butterflies. Transformation. Right? That's, you know, this also goes with Aries, right? Something is happening. The Seven of Pentacles. This is about material gathering. It's like the harvest of something. You got the Page of Wands, which is this message of follow the Cheshire Cat. Follow your little whims. Follow them. Right? Did not just see them, but when you see them, kind of chase after them. You know, what's that movie? The Matrix, right? Where he follow the bunny. This is follow the Cheshire Cat. Follow whatever that little weird whim is. And then we have the Nine of Cups, which is this harvest into following some little weird leads and intuitions, but it's going to ultimately lead to serenity, to perfect relaxation. See this like building here of this sandcastle with the cups all just balanced back. You know, this is like amazing. And there will be a little bit of distraction here. See how the cat's playing with the lobster. You're going to have to try to work out and ignore those. But this is going to come through a lot of transformation, and maybe because it is this Aries thing, it's kind of connected in to a little bit of this. So I'm almost getting like this is the third part. And, you know, transformation, this is the card that goes with it. In fact, the next one, manifestation, also goes with it, right? If we look at these cards, see how they're kind of at the end? Now, these are actually kind of more towards the beginning cards because this is the waning, but I feel this more in a, you know, ending where you get this. Maybe this is in the beginning. No, yes, no, I don't know. It's somewhere in there. It's part of the ripples, right? But transformation definitely, and manifestation, right? Harvest, manifestation. Do we need anything else for this month, the cycle? We don't really have a full moon feel here. Yes, we do. We have this right here. This was kind of the feel because the full moon kind of splattered out. This is kind of, you know, more mystery feel. Then we got to get this. We got to look at our last mystery card. And I hear you're not done. What is draw one for me is what I hear. Okay. We have to get out another deck. This is going to be our, I guess we get a surprise deck right in the very center of this thing. And I'm not surprised this deck's coming up. This is where the deck I connected with Christ consciousness. So this is kind of strange. This might be that really bright light that we saw on the bottom of the pile. And it's these two. And let's see what it is that we're getting Yeah, I'm not surprised. Yes, this is the bright light coming in. And this is after the beginning, just after, right? Mistakes will be made, but you are a star. This is kind of like, you know, like that ripple. I kind of almost see the star shining upon this reflection of these ripples. And yes, you can access and be part of those stars, but they are mirroring off this rippled mirror effect, like this rippled feel all this month. And it's going to come back, and there's a lot of very important things. And purity, which I think goes right with these. And look, our candles are actually going out as we speak, or at least one of them's melting out. But the heavenly one. Now, I know this is a Hecate deck. Hecate has many aspects. One of them is she works in the heavens. She works closely with this Christ consciousness, because it's a very powerful. I'm going to blow it out. Maybe I'm going to blow it out. Okay. Ooh, look at that mess. Because it's gonna catch fire and make a mess. But anyway, Hecate, there must be something kind of mess or smoke or something coming in that's part of this mysterious veil, this gateway, this door. All of these things kind of match into this strange feel for the month. But Hecate works within this Christ consciousness, and I'm not surprised that, a lot of people don't want to hear that, exclusively, especially the Christ conscious people. They don't want to hear that other entities, other spirits, gods, goddesses, whatever, Lilith herself, Zeus, all the rest of them, Freya, and I guess I could keep going on just about all of them, work within this field, because this is a very powerful thing here, and it's built up all over this, but this is a little bit more harsher feel. Generally the light side, this brightness, is very severe, if you know what I mean. And this is kind of like coming in as this mirrored effect with inside of our cycle of ripples this month. And do I have anything else for us, or is this what we got for? I think that's what we're going to do. And I'm going to put my little love right over here over top of this portion, which maybe you'll find that interesting or not, but I love you all. Have a good one. Bye.